Hi guys, this is your girl Wakeji Kamore and welcome to Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. We are currently going through the book of 2 Samuel and we are covering this book chapter by chapter. Today we are taking a close look at chapter 14 and I will read the whole chapter and then afterwards I will share my main takeouts. Please stay with me to the end and don't forget to recommend this Bible summary to your friend by sharing this link. Alright, so in the last chapter, which was chapter 13, we saw that there's this guy called Amnon who raped Absalom's sister, Tamar. And then Absalom had been planning to kill him and then finally he killed him. And then Absalom fled and went to live with his grandfather for 3 years. All right, so we are continuing that story from just over there in chapter 14. So all right, let's read. Joab realized how much the king longed to see Absalom. So he sent for a woman from Tekoa who had a reputation of great wisdom. He said to her, "Pretend you are in mourning. Wear mourning clothes and don't put on lotions. Act like a woman who has been mourning for the dead for a long time. Then go to the king and tell him the story I'm about to tell you." Then Joab told her what to say. I like this. I feel like people had figured out that David listens to stories more. Like he is more likely to listen to a story and get like a different perspective from it. Because I remember even the story about the poor man and the rich man with their goats and their small lamb. And now this is another story that is coming up. All right, let's see how that goes. All right, when the woman from Tekoa approached the king, she bowed with her face to the ground in deep respect and cried out, "O king, help me." "What's the trouble?" the king asked. "Alas, I am a widow," she replied. "My husband is dead. My 2 sons had a fight out in the field. And since no one was there to stop it, one of them was killed. Now the rest of the family is demanding, 'Let us have your son. We will execute him for murdering his brother. He doesn't deserve to inherit his family's property. They want to extinguish the only coal I have left. And my husband's name and family will disappear from the face of the earth.' 'Leave it to me,' the king told her. 'Go home and I will see to it that no one touches him.' 'Oh, thank you, my lord the king,' the woman from Tekoa replied. 'If you are criticized for helping me, let the blame fall on me and my father's house, and let the king and his throne be innocent. If anyone objects,' the king said, 'bring him to me, and I can assure you he will never harm you again.' Then she said, 'Please swear to me by the Lord your God that you won't let anyone take vengeance against my son. I want no more bloodshed.' 'As surely as the Lord lives,' he replied, 'not a hair on your son's head will be disturbed.' 'Please allow me to ask one more thing of my lord the king,' he said. 'Go ahead and speak,' he responded. She replied, 'Why don't you do as much for the people of God as you have promised to do for me? You have convicted yourself in making this decision because you have refused to bring home your own banished son. All of us must die eventually. Our lives are like water spilled out on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. But God does not just sweep life away. Instead, He devises ways to bring us back when we have been separated from Him. I have come to plead with you, my lord the king, because people have threatened me. I said to myself, perhaps the king will listen to me and rescue us from those who would cut us off from our inheritance, from the inheritance God has given us. Yes, my lord the king, will you give us peace of mind again? I know that you are like an angel of God in discerning good from evil. May the Lord your God be with you." "I must know one thing," the king replied. "Tell me the truth." "Yes, my lord the king," she replied. "Did Joab put you up to this?" And the woman replied, "My lord the king, how can I deny it? Nobody can hide anything from you. Yes, Joab sent me and told me what to say. He did it to place the matter before you in a different light." Oh, I like that. He did it to place the matter before you in a different light. But you are as wise as an angel of God, and you understand everything that happens amongst us. So the king sent for Joab and told him, "All right, go and bring back the young man Absalom." Joab bowed with his face to the ground in deep respect and said, "At last, I know that I have gained your approval, my lord the king, for you have granted me this request." Clearly, Joab had been asking David for this for a while, and he just didn't know how to go about it. So he sent this woman with this story just so that David could actually just hear that story from a different perspective. That's actually very wise. Then Joab went to Geshur and brought Absalom back to Jerusalem. But the king gave this order: "Absalom may go to his own house, but he must never come into my presence." So Absalom did not see the king. Now Absalom was praised as the most handsome man in all of Israel. Where he was flawless from head to foot. Meaning Absalom. He cut his hair only once a year, and then only because it was so heavy. When he weighed it out, it came to about 5 pounds. That's about like 2 kilos of hair. He had 3 sons and 1 daughter. His daughter name was Tamar, and she was very beautiful. Absalom lived in Jerusalem for 2 years, but he never got to see the king. Then Absalom sent for Joab to ask him to intercede for him, but Joab refused to come. Absalom sent for him the second time, but again Joab refused to come. So Absalom said to his servants, "Go and set fire to Joab's barley's field, the field next to mine." So they set his field on fire, and Absalom had commanded. Then Joab came to Absalom at his house and demanded, "Why did your servants set my field on fire?" And Absalom replied, "Because I wanted to ask the king why he brought me back from Geshur if he doesn't intend to see me. I might as well have stayed there. Let me see the king. If he finds me guilty of anything, then let him kill me." So Joab told the king what Absalom said. And then, at last, David summoned Absalom, who came and bowed low before the king, and the king kissed him. So finally, they have been reconciled. All right, so that's the end of the chapter, guys. Absalom rolls in Amnon's murder, caused him to run. Of course, he fled. He fled. Kizungu, my goodness. Leaving David overwhelmed by his losses. And despite Joab's effort to reconcile the two, David refused to restore his son completely. You would think that the fact that David has been forgiven of his own sins, that he would actually extend mercy and forgiveness as he had been extended to by God. But no. David really struggled to reunite with his son Absalom. After Joab's intervention in the situation, David allowed his son Absalom to return to Jerusalem, but to keep a distance and determined that the partial restoration was good enough. And Absalom's persistent demands to have an audience with the king finally resulted in their reunion with his father. I'm particularly inclined towards verse 20 that says that Joab decided to present the same request in a different way so that David would see it from a different perspective, see it from a different light. You see, the thing is, viewing our situations from a different perspective or from someone else's opinion or views helps us to make better decisions. So my questions are, or the questions to reflect on are, do you have any Joabs in your life who are determined to see you do the right thing? Like Joab was so determined to see Absalom and his father reconcile. Do you have such people who are so determined to see you doing the right thing, and they're so determined to keep telling you, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And even when you don't listen, they find other ways to tell you the same very thing. But also, are you the kind of person or friend that people can share their views with? Are you the kind of person that people can share their perspectives with? Or are you too tough, too unapproachable, too mad and bitter and whatever that people can't approach you without you insulting them? What kind of person are you that are friends able to share their perspectives with you? Have you created a space around you that friends can approach you and call you out when you're doing, all stupid things? Tafakari hayo. This is your girl Wakeji Kamore, and this has been Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. See you tomorrow.